Yo, what is up, guys? It's Freddy Knows Ball, and we're back here with a brand new video today. Let's get right into it. An arc is essentially just a part of the circle. I would think of it as like the crust of a slice of pizza, if that helps. It's basically just the outer part of a circle. Now, there is a very important conversion you need to know. It's called radians to degrees. So, pretty much all you need to know is that pi is equal to 180 when you're dealing with circles. Pi is equal to 180. If you know that, you will be able to solve the radian questions on the SAT. Let's get right into a practice question. An angle has a measure of 16 pi over 15 radians. What is the measure of the angle in degrees? Now, remember what I said, pi equals 180. So literally all you have to do is plug in 16 times 180 over 15, and you get the answer, 192. Now let's talk about the circle itself. There are two equations you need to know for a circle, and one equation that just is the circle. So let's start with the ones you need to know, the circumference and the area. Circumference is 2 pi r, all right? Let's use circumference for this question right here. Points M, N, and P lie on the circle shown. On this circle, minor arc MN has a length of 39 centimeters and major arc MPN has a length of 195 centimeters. What is the circumference in centimeters of the circle shown? All right, so we can see that MN is this part of the circle and MPN is the entire rest of the circle. The reason that it doesn't go the other way is because it says MPN. If it went the other way, it would be MNP. So the order matters there. Now, you don't actually need the circumference equation for this question, but trust me, it is important, okay? And so for this question, we know MN is 39, we know MPN is 195. Since that's the whole circle, 39 plus 195 is 234, which is D. Now, you thought I forgot about the other equation. I didn't, okay? Circumference is 2 pi r. The other equation you need to know is area, pi r squared. So let's look at this question right here. A circle has a radius of 2.1 inches. The area of the circle is b pi square inches, where b is a constant. What is the value of b? If the radius is 2.1, we can just plug that into our equation. Area equals pi r squared. Pi times 2.1 squared. 2.1 squared is 4.41, and the area of the circle is 4.41 pi. But that's not what the question is asking for. It's asking for b, and so b is simply just 4.41 here. Now, let's talk about the circle equation. This is literally just the equation that you can put into Desmos, and it'll spit out the circle for you. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. I would recommend memorizing this. I would say it is a pretty crucial and important formula to know, but let's go ahead and look at this question. The graph of the given equation in the xy plane is a circle. What is the length of the radius of this circle? Remember the equation. At the end of the equation is r squared. So we see 81 at the end of the equation. Is our radius 81? No, our radius is r squared. So we have to take the square root of 81, and that's 9. Our radius is 9, guys. And to check this, you can, of course, plug this equation into Desmos. You can find the diameter and split it in half, or you can eyeball it. Honestly, whatever you want to do. All right, this is the last circle question I've got for you guys. A circle in the xy plane has its center at -4, 5, and the point -8, 8 lies on the circle. Which equation represents this circle? Okay, so since we know the center and a point that lies on it, we can find the radius. The radius can help us narrow it down between two of the choices because the radiuses are different. The radii are different. This is something that Desmos is incredibly good at. We can find the distance between -4, 5 and -8, 8 simply by typing distance into Desmos. We type in distance, we put parentheses around it, and we put our 2 points, and it'll spit out the distance to us. And it tells us that the distance between the points is 5. So we know the radius is 5, but we have to remember that in the equation it's squared. So we can immediately eliminate a and b because that's not 5 squared. We need the radius to be 25, 5 squared. So now we just have to see the center is at negative 4 comma 5. That is the h comma k. The center of the circle is h comma k. So now we just need to put in the opposite sign of what it actually is. Because since the circle equation has minus as its original sign in the equation, we need to flip whatever the points they give us. So negative 4 comma 5 should go into the equation as positive 4 negative 5. And that's what D does. I know that's kind of confusing, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, you will understand. And you can, of course, check your work with Desmos. Please, if you're unsure, you can throw the equation into Desmos. You can throw it in there, all right? Please don't be afraid to do that, especially if you have extra time, especially if it is on the easy module of the Math SAT. Guys, if you know Desmos and you know Ball, which I'm literally teaching you, you will fly through the first module of the SAT with enough practice. So please go back and check every question because that is how you get a higher score. If you don't get every question right on module 1, you are setting yourself up for failure to get the 1600, okay? That is going to wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to like and subscribe, as well as leave any questions you have in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.